Okay, so in this video, we will go over how to generate and trace on secondary images, which allows you to feed SNT with pre-processed data on which the A-star search algorithm will operate. And let's say that you have a custom image segmentation pipeline, which outputs high-quality probability maps, and you want to trace on these maps the same way you would any other image. To demonstrate this, I'm going to go ahead and train an extremely basic classifier using this OP1 image here, and using the Trainable Weka Segmentation plugin found in the Plugins menu under Segmentation, Trainable Weka Segmentation 3D. Okay, so this is the Trainable Weka Segmentation window, and you'll see that the OP1 image is already loaded. And I'm just going to go ahead and highlight a few pixels that will represent our background, add those to class 1, and then do the same for the foreground, which in this case represents our axon. Just highlight a few pixels, add to class 2. Then we can go ahead and train the classifier. Okay, so the training has been completed. Now we can go ahead and get our probability map by choosing Get Probability. Okay, so this is our probability image, and you'll see that it has two channels. Channel 1 represents the background, and channel 2 represents the foreground. And before we load this image into SNT, I'm going to go ahead and discard the background channel, since the dimensions of this image need to match up with the original OP1 image. And to do this, I'm going to right-click on the image, choose Duplicate, and I'm only going to duplicate the second channel. Press OK. Alright, so this is our probability map, and I'm going to go ahead and save it as a TIFF by going to File, Save As, TIFF. Go ahead and close these images, close the segmentation window. Alright, so now we're ready to load this image into SNT, and to do this, go down to the Tracing on Secondary Image widget, choose the folder icon here, and choose the probability map that we just created. And you'll see that the path to this image has been automatically populated into the text box here, and that the Trace on Secondary Image checkbox has been automatically enabled. And we can actually render in an overlay of this image by choosing this checkbox here. And you can also display the full image by going to the gear menu and choosing Show Cached Image. Okay, and so we can go ahead and trace on this image like we would any others by clicking on a point in the image, clicking on a point further down, confirming the temporary segments, and so on. And you can actually toggle this checkbox during tracing in case you want to swap back and forth between tracing on the original image and tracing on the filtered image. Okay, so next I'm going to go over how to generate filtered images directly from SNT. And that corresponds to the options in this gear menu here, Generate Secondary Image. Oh, and before I do this, I'm going to flush the image that we're using right now. And you'll see that we have a range of image processing routines that we can choose from. And before we do this, it's important to make sure that the sigma and maximum parameters in the Hessian analysis widget are calibrated beforehand. So let's go ahead and do that. Go to the gear menu up here, choose Adjust Settings Visually, click on a representative region in the image. I'm just going to arbitrarily pick one of these. Okay, so now you'll see that the sigma and max have been updated, and we can go ahead and generate our filtered image. And I'm going to choose the frangivesselness filtering routine. Okay, so the image has been generated, and you'll see that this text box has been replaced with the cached image that we just made. And like before, you can render in an overlay of it. I'm just going to go ahead and increase the opacity so that we can see it a little bit better. You can also show the full image like before. And we can go ahead and trace on it just like before. Clicking on a point, click a point further down, so on and so forth. Okay, so that concludes this video. And the last thing I want to show you is that if you move your mouse over this widget here, you'll see that it turns blue. And if you click on it, it'll take you to the SNT wiki page on ImageJ.net to the corresponding section on tracing on secondary images, which has a little bit more information if you're interested. Okay, so thanks for watching.